Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Weekly Games Chat. I'm your host, Chris, as always, joined by my co-host, Sean.
Hey, how are you doing, people out there?
And finally showing up to the show, John.
It's like he knew I was going to mock his rhythm, because usually it's, welcome, but he didn't do it this time.
Well, because what's funny is there's a reason, as we're recording on this end, that he pauses, but that's not going on right now.
Yeah.
On purpose, but I thought it normally does. But it's no one knows what I'm talking about.
It's okay.
Fine. But yeah, right as Chris is talking, John does a thing which throws my cadence off too, because I'm like, I don't know what John's doing, and Chris is about to talk. And
well, I just thought I'd show up today because nobody told me not to.
Wait, when did you not show up?
Well, you guys seem to.
Oh yeah,
you guys seem to go just full steam ahead last week with Azeroth. No one even told me when it was going down. Nobody even sent me show notes. It was like
I sent you show notes.
No, a week without.
That's you weren't coming last week. No.
Roll with the bit, Sean.
This is a bet, Roo.
So yeah, it was. I was like, man, do they love me anymore?
The best part, I was talking to Jeff on Saturday while we were watching the game, and he, when we introduced Josh last week, he made the joke of, and Jeff's going to hate that I say this, but I'm going to say it anyways. But he made the joke. I introduced him as John, and he said it was about 10 minutes into the. Jeez, Payne. Payne's like really, really anticipating this. But he said it was about 10 minutes in that he didn't till he realized that you weren't actually there because he never caught that was a joke or whatever.
Wait, so he thinks John sounds like?
I guess he just didn't hear it.
Well, Josh has a very
no, he doesn't.
Light voice like me.
He does.
Okay,
he doesn't have
taking a note of that to pass that on to
Front Street
to old Joshy Bear.
Oh, it's Joshy Bear, huh?
Maybe.
You know what?
Did you enjoy your time with Joshy Bear?
Yeah.
What was he wearing?
A polo.
As always.
With shorts.
As always. Yeah.
And high socks.
I don't think I've ever seen Josh not wear a polo.
And you know how Josh likes to bear hug you?
Is he yes.
God, you should have seen how I was trying to avoid that at that door.
Is he still an a-hole?
No, he's a sweet, sweet boy.
He's not like you.
Yeah, he actually gets on Discord and plays video games with me.
Ooh. Hey, so do I.
Yeah.
What does he play?
I was talking to him.
I know.
What do y'all play?
I'm all defensive.
Everything together.
Like what?
Everything.
Like
everything
what?
that starts with
a
a battle
switches and Xboxes. And
you do not play Switch with him.
And
shut your mouth.
Sony
You do not play Switch with him.
Yeah.
No, he plays Switch with me.
Yeah.
On there.
Yeah.
Does he play Sea of Thieves?
No.
We're nope.
No.
What is weird? What is we are, Sean?
Well, I was going to say
whatever. Weekly Games Chat. Let's talk about games.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, I played NBA 2K19 The Prelude.
Nobody cares. What did you play?
Wait, are you doing that thing this year again?
What?
That game.
I
he
have
always
to.
does that game.
Oh,
he can't not.
Can we take off that week?
It's got me good.
We do have to listen to that, don't we?
Oh, that same old Chris Love
Falcon,
bullcrap.
Falcon from freaking Marvel is in there.
Okay.
Anthony Mackie. He's in this year.
Okay.
I went to China. It was really weird because I couldn't understand what the announcers were saying as I was like whooping these Chinese players in 5-on-5.
See, John, 5-on-5 is.
See, Sean, Chinese people.
Whoa.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm hyped up. I'm definitely interested to see.
I feel the hype train right now.
Do you?
Yeah.
I almost changed my name this year.
To Hype Train McGee or what?
No, there was a locket.
Oh.
And I was like,
Oh.
that's enticing.
Locket?
Yeah. For last names.
Yeah. So
I want them to be able to pronounce my name.
Chris
That's
Lockett.
Why. Yeah.
So as he's playing, he could be Chris Lockett the Rocket or something like that.
And it's still, the nickname this year is AI, which I think is, one, good for a computer, but then two, I think it's a tribute to
Allen Iverson.
Yeah, he's the original cover athlete for 2K.
Is that a fun fact? Or this
Fun
early
fact.
this early in the fine program that is Weekly Games Chat?
Right?
Fun fact alert.
Besides that, though, I did that, and I played, or I didn't play. I watched Jack Ryan.
Is that all you watched this week? Are we going to act like when certain things start, we just don't bring them up in the prelude of the show?
Oh,
yeah. Is this where we're going to go?
Wait, we didn't. Oh, well, yeah.
Really?
I watched a lot of college football on Saturday.
There was a lot to watch.
There was. It felt good.
Georgia played Foreman or Full House State, or who'd
They
y'all
always
play?
take it easy in the first week.
Austin P.
Oh yeah,
Peas,
Austin P.
yeah.
Y'all are great though. Everybody's set up good. Auburn
Auburn pulled
surprised
out
some
a
of
big
the West
one.
Coast people who thought that maybe Washington would beat Auburn.
You know, when we played that team, we won 24-0.
Didn't they almost do it? Like they were hanging with them for a while?
I actually
Or
thought
it was a
to
good game.
16 or something?
It was a
Yeah,
good
I
game.
actually thought that Washington was going to pull it out because after the first
They
quarter,
never pull it out. What? Oh,
after the first quarter, their offense went on a tear.
What?
And after the first quarter, Washington's offense went on a tear. And
how long has that quarterback been a quarterback?
he's a senior this year.
Yeah, he's like a 7-year senior.
I think he was redshirt his first year.
Okay, so his math is adding up.
You're dumb.
The Golden Domers pulled off a win against Michigan.
Maryland is 2-0 against Texas.
Chris is going to start liking Maryland when they start winning too. Just an alert.
I was happy for him.
Fair weather.
I was very.
Well, he's from there and stuff,
Yeah.
supposedly.
I never root against him.
Hashtag.
Just I don't have a major allegiance or anything like that,
Do you pledge allegiance to?
except for college basketball.
Yeah,
But
like the old Terrapins.
it was nice to see. Apparently, they got like the hip new coach or whatever. Like because their
we
their
talking
head
about?
coach,
Maryland still.
their head coach is suspended because people died.
What?
Remember, the lineman died over the
Oh,
summer.
yeah.
DJ Durkin got suspended because of that. So their backup, or the interim now, he transferred from some major program. It might have been Ohio State or something like that. And everyone's like, yeah, he's probably a guy who's going to get a job somewhere after this year.
That's what they say about me.
And I was like, and I was
They're like
watching
that
it, I was
guy.
like, well, after this, why not just fire DJ Durkin, who's probably going anyways,
Um,
and hire him?
don't we have some fans like the Longhorns, or
Yeah.
one of them likes A&M?
I think so.
or something like that.
I think one of them has said that.
Yeah.
Well, fear the turtle. It was a good game to watch, though. It was entertaining. I watched a lot of that.
Hey,
I
can you-
watched.
I'm going to cut John's hand off.
I did watch. I did watch old Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Michigan.
I didn't get to watch a lot of football. I do certain things on the weekend sometimes. That was one of them. I did go sit on a motorcycle last Friday.
Oh,
Is that what they call it?
Yeah,
are you going to join Sons of Anarchy, or is,
I hope so. If I do start riding, I want to look like Jax.
is that why you're doing this now? You're like,
I got to get tall and skinny and get blonde headed real
what's the
quick,
new-
John.
What's the new show that's coming out? That's got
Yeah, the Mayans. It's the
Yeah.
Mayans. I was going to say FC. I was thinking about soccer.
Yeah, it's
the
about to start, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very, very soon. So
Yeah.
that's actually a spinoff I think will do well.
I'm sure.
Much like Better Call Saul has done for Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I haven't watched last night's, but everyone said it was a
Top notch.
pretty big one. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, Jack Ryan. If you like Jack Ryan, I highly suggest it. I think you'll be.
Is this Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, or is it just
Yeah, I mean it's everything. Like he was in the Marines.
What?
He went to Boston College.
Is he an analyst?
He's an analyst. He's an economics.
he's an analyst that goes on secret spy missions?
Yes.
Because that was never really Jack Ryan in
No,
the
but
novels.
it's the same thing as the novels in the sense that he is a doctor of economics who works as an analyst at the CIA.
That sounds terrible.
And goes on missions.
Not necessarily. In
Okay.
That way. It's more of, it's kind of like how, think of like some of all fears, like I'm just an analyst and getting dragged into it type thing.
Okay.
And it makes sense that you.
Or like how in Independence Day, Jeff Goldblum got dragged into the whole thing.
But
I'm a cable guy.
but it's a good, like, it's
and I
eight,
spray my plant.
it's 8 episodes. So it's a good, like, I started on Thursday night and I finished by Saturday. So, yeah. Wasn't a hard one to watch.
Yeah.
You got the old Amazon?
I do. I'm Optimus Primed.
Nice. I could
One of
watch
my
that.
favorites is Man in the High Castle.
Is that on the
Ooh, yeah.
Amazon?
That's on the Amazon. And then the third one's coming out soon. Third season.
I still need to get caught up on that show.
I need to start that show.
That's a hard one.
You know what? I really need to start opening my Tomb Raider game.
God, Sean,
you should do that.
Jeez,
It's getting down to
what
the
are you
wire.
playing right now?
Like you have less.
You can do this, man.
If you start playing tonight,
I can't because on Friday
You're playing Azeroth.
Spider-Man.
are you?
I tell you what,
Playing the.
you don't have to talk about Spider-Man.
I'm playing the Frank out of Spider-Man.
Hey, I'm getting off work Thursday.
And you're taking Friday off?
I'm getting off work Thursday. I'm going to pick that game up at 9.
Man.
And I have calculated out that.
Are you taking Friday off?
Oh yeah. If
You're up.
it's more, it's not even like so much that because given my work setup, it wouldn't be a problem. You know this, but it's more of like I have all this PTO I need to take, so it's like why not take it for that, right? One, it gives me a 3-day weekend, and two,
back-to-back 3-day weekends. Which, by the way, I hope everyone that's listening had an outstanding Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
If you celebrated such, I know I did here in the stateside. That's it. Just quietness after that, guys.
Woo,
I'm still thinking about whether I want to take Friday off.
Let's do it together.
I am taking that. I'm picking up that game at 10 o'clock. I think
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. I will start that game by 10 o'clock, basically, with everything I think. And I will play till probably 3 a.m. And I plan to then wake up from 9 a.m.
John,
and just go.
Let's do this thing where we meet at Walmart at like midnight and pick up the game.
Well, I've already pre-ordered it.
Oh, of course you have.
I pre-ordered it at
Commitment.
Did you get a free Spider-Man mask like Walmart's giving you?
Got to cancel my pre-order.
That's fine. I get a suit.
Let me put on your mask. I might have had herpes in that.
Ooh.
I am hoping to platinum that game.
Have you looked at the platinum to see if it's platinumable?
I haven't looked at it, but I was watching.
Why do you think you could platinum it then, Chris?
Well, I was listening to Greg Miller talk about it, and he said he's already platinumed it. Colin has said I think he platinumed it. So it's like, to me, when I hear that, I'm like, okay, it's obtainable. It's just do the work.
Because Colin platinumed it?
No, because I know those guys don't go over, because those two guys are all about trying to platinum trophies, and they aren't going to waste their time on trophies that require a ridiculous amount.
Like just stupid stuff that.
Yeah, like travel 10 million miles.
Or no, the people who make the trophies for the game only want you to play that game for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
One of these days, I'm going to platinum a game that is a platinum that requires more than just time. Like God of War just required your time to platinum it.
Sure. Horizon
Zero Dawn required your time. That's it. There was nothing truly challenging about them, except for maybe one. That was the what was it? The
Valkyries.
But even then, time.
No. I'm trying to think.
Broken clock is right twice in 24 hours.
Probably
you will do it.
What?
Probably the hardest one.
I want to do Dishonored 2 next year. I want to platinum that game because there's certain things in there that take a tremendous amount of patience. Like, I spent 3 hours trying to headshot some guy sliding past him. That's a trophy, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I bet you
could not.
I don't like those kind of. Yeah, those make me, because you'll be stuck. I remember there was either in Battlefield or Call of Duty, one of the ridiculous things you had to do, like jump out of kill somebody in a plane, jump out of the plane, kill them with a car, and then jump out of the car and kill them with a gun in a minute or some crap.
Man usually has like ones like that where it's like force a fumble on their 1 yard line, pick it up and return it for a 99-yard touchdown with the same player.
Yeah.
What's the platinum equivalent to Xbox? What do they call it?
Achievements.
I know.
It's like
once you get them. What do you call
it? Completion.
Diamond something.
It's just it, but even then, it's not sexy.
Yeah.
It's the same.
No.
It's the same achievement trophy difference. It's just not sexy, and I don't work towards it.
I think it's called 100% in the game.
Yeah, because remember they were the first.
They need to think that through.
Because remember they were the first ones to do it.
Yeah.
So for them, it was just like, well, there's 1,200 points you need to get to 100% this game.
Well, guess what? Are you ready for this?
Are you ready?
We might find out, and there may be some details leaked.
break it
on
down.
what it's going to be called when Nintendo lets us platinum something this month.
I hope to God that's something they do. Or some version of it. That'd be cool. But I don't think I can platinum
backwards compatible.
Spider-Man.
Compatible.
I don't think I'll have time to platinum that game.
From my understanding, it's not too long.
Yeah, but you sit at home and you don't bathe for 3 days and you finish a game. That's a compliment.
I bathe. I just don't leave.
So
I make sure that when the pizza man comes, I look presentable.
Dude, speaking of that,
I open the door. I have a tuxedo on. It's a T-shirt that looks like a tuxedo. It's the same.
Am I getting cheap to the point where I don't want to pay the delivery fee plus a tip for a pizza?
No.
I live close enough to these
if
pizza
you're close
places
enough to go get one, yeah, I just always say, why don't I just go get it?
Yeah.
But they just do delivery.
It's like another $7.
I used to be primarily a Papa John's guy, right? And you'll attest that, John, back when I lived with you.
Then Domino's hit.
I've stopped going to them, not because I hate their pizza or anything. It's because it's so far from where I am compared to the other ones. If I want something quick, yeah, I'm with you. It's really hard for me these days to say I'm going to pay the $3.50 delivery fee on top of a tip when Domino's is literally right around the corner from here and I can get a pizza. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They're right. Yeah. Like literally
right there on Winton. So like I can just pay, $8 for a large pizza and I'm good.
Yeah. $7.99 carry out all day.
And if I want something fancy, then I go to Marco's.
Dude,
I like Marco's.
Marco's is good.
You got to try the Domino's, the specialty chicken.
Specialty?
It's the ones that I think the employees kind of made.
Dude, pizza.
And they sprinkled stuff on it, Mm-hmm. And so the one that I get is the chicken from Domino's. It's called the pineapple and jalapeno with a habanero sauce.
I will never have pineapple.
It is amazing because the chicken.
I would platinum that pizza.
This is the chicken. It's just chicken on the side on top of the pizza.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got it.
You want some pizza? Let's order a pizza.
I would, remember we almost went to CC's on Sunday, remember? And then we
oh my God. Yeah.
We walked in and we're like, it's kind of hot. And then we noticed like there's fans everywhere, like big, like, conductor fans. Like,
no way I'm rocking buffet
and then we're
pizza.
Like, yeah, looks like we're going to Zaxby's, huh? Okay, let's go.
Ooh, there's no way I'm walking in any place that I'm going to eat a lot of food.
Oh.
And
it's hot.
It's hot.
Yeah.
What did people do in 30, 40 years ago before AC?
I don't know, John. I live where there's AC.
It still baffles me, and like I wonder, like what?
I think AC being broken does not mean you get a lower score.
Look, here's the deal.
You're sad. You're sad, strange.
I think the world is hotter now because of things like roads and trees being cut down, and just overall, I think it's hotter.
Scientists think they can actually show you in forms of charts and graphs.
Yeah. So I think our hot is different than old school hot. I do still think it was hot. Don't get me like twisted in any kind of way. But they didn't have pizza buffets way back in the day when they didn't have air conditioners.
They also had tall ceilings.
All right, since the inception of pizza buffets, John.
Tomorrow morning, I want you to download this podcast, and I want you to listen to that rationale.
No, I'm just saying.
And I want you to listen to it again.
Listen to me.
And when you're okay with it for the second time, I want you to listen to it again.
Pizza
and I want you to listen to it until
John,
you break down crying and self-loathing.
I've always had air conditioning. That's all I tried to get out. If it came out any other way, you can just... Why'd you turn me off? What happened?
You were peeking.
I don't go to a Waffle House unless there's at least 3 rats. Okay?
That's a
fair point. First of all, why is your hand doing that?
Because it's
huge. I can't hear myself. What did you do?
I did nothing.
You did something because now everything's different.
We should probably go to the topic because we've got a lot of news.
Tinkle.
Tinkles?
You tinker with this stuff.
Just tell me you're going to Jimmy John's.
Look.
Tell me you're going to Jimmy John's.
Look.
You're fine.
Chris goes up to there, and I'm like, here. I'm a diva. I'm in pure diva mode right now, and this is this is not right. Something's not right. Go to do the thing. Do the bit.
Go.
I'm done. Do it.
Okay, I guess we'll go to topic.
Topic time.
The topic is...
Dun, dun, dun.
That's good music. We already got music, though, so it didn't quite...
did
Everyone's going to be like, well, that just didn't work.
That didn't go together.
Guacamelee 2.
Ole!
You can't say that.
Why?
No, you can't.
It clearly has to do with Mexican heritage, right?
What gave you that idea?
The guac?
That was the part?
Yeah.
The guac.
And then was it the new... Jack Black had a movie called Nacho Libre. But it was the wrestlers. What are they called? Lucha Libres?
Luchadores.
Luchadores?
Luchadors, whatever.
Yeah.
I like to call them...
And thank you for bringing this part of the program back for me.
You're welcome. I figured you would need it.
Yeah.
Mainly because you didn't play this.
I did watch it on Twitch because I knew that you were playing it.
I did not learn that John was playing it until about
10 minutes ago.
No, I noticed it Sunday morning. I was like, oh, John got it. And I was like,
This game, it looked cool. It's got some cool elements to it.
Very cool elements. That's actually the end of the first game. So for those who have never played the first one, this is the direct sequel to Guacamelee, which released originally, I believe, on the Vita, and then eventually came to PS4, Xbox. I think it's on Switch now.
It's
PC.
not on Switch, but it is on
not?
Wii U.
Ah, okay, there you go.
Guacamelee Super Championship Edition.
What was it, like Super Championship
Turbo
yeah,
something,
like they put out a bunch of versions of this game. But basically the idea is in the first one you are an how do you say it? Agave? Yeah, you make tequila. You're a farmer. And you are in love with a girl. A dude who's like I can't remember his name, but he's like a skeleton dude shows up, says, oh, I'm kidnapping your girl, and he kills you, and you go to the land of the dead where you meet a spirit who gives you a luchador mask that transforms you into a very stacked luchador.
Somebody walked by and she's losing her mind.
Yeah, I think my neighbor with dogs just walked by. She'll stop in a second.
That's top notch.
Yeah.
Thanks, Penny. I mean, we only do this once a week, Penny.
I better check to see if she just like knocked out recording stuff.
Who knows?
No,
we're still
good.
going. So all
Yeah,
that,
all right.
people, hey, how you doing? We're
Look at
back.
us.
We never left.
I like how she's going to John like John's going to fix it. She's like, do you understand what's going on? But yeah, so you get this mask, you transform into this luchador who's very powerful. And then you start getting abilities, and eventually you go and you fight the guy who kidnapped your girl, take him on, beat him. Originally, actually, I didn't actually see the original. The original ending, if you didn't do or like get every little thing, she died in sacrifice. But apparently, in the true ending, which they actually show you at the beginning of this game, kind of like a ode back to Metroid, right? You basically you do save the girl, and now this game picks up 7 years afterwards.
You got
literally
some
showing you the
kids.
next thing, and like the first thing they cut to is Juan without his name is Juan. He's no longer got his luchador mask on. He's got a beer gut, but he's still wearing his championship belt, and he's just dealing with his 2 kids running around crazy. He's trying to help them.
Love to see that, Chris.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
there he is.
Well,
didn't he have a belly in the first game when he starts off?
Yes. But the idea here is pretty quickly early on in the game, Juan gets pulled by...
Look at that spread. Look at that house.
Right?
I love that house.
Where is this house?
It looks like a house from a guy who saved the city.
I guess so.
He's like
Apparently.
living in the city, it looks like.
But like when he goes outside, you would never suspect that.
No, not at all.
Yeah. It's like, apparently, it's got like 10 levels.
Look at his gym. It's all like spider webs.
spiders.
He's like, I'm out. It's got the bench in a little incline position. I see you, Juan.
But the idea is pretty early on in the new game. What is it? What is his name? The goat turning dude.
Oh, dude.
Juve something.
Wave, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like It's a very unique Mexican name, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He comes
Chuve or something.
Yeah, he comes to you. He was in the first game. He comes in he returns from the first game, and he basically tells you, "Hey, Juan, I need you to come with me to the darkest timeline." And this point, this is when you learn that apparently, much like the multiverse, there's also a Mexi-verse where there are an infinite number of Mexican timelines.
I think there's a set number.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think there's it's like 46 or something like that, 47.
Okay. It should be 52.
Is
like like DC.
But that scene reminded me of the ending of Back to the Future. It's like, you got to come back with me.
Yeah. But he says we got to go to the darkest timeline, which is like the timeline where Juan failed. And what's the enemy's name? I think it's like Calypso or something like that. Or
Kalaka.
There you go. Okay.
Which, the last game's enemy or this one?
Yeah, last game.
Yeah, Kalaka.
Yeah, because this game it's Salvador, right?
Yeah.
This game is so cool looking.
Yeah, that's the one big thing you're going to realize right away whenever you play one of these games is that you can tell they have a very distinct visual style that is very much rooted in Mexican heritage and art. They never let up or drop it at any point. And that's, I think, one of the strong points to it. Like, for anyone who has never played this, like, if you do want to see some really cool Mexican art, this is a great way to do it because it feels like, for those who have played Coco, right? Or not played, but watched Coco and all that, you'll see similar images here.
You mean that Disney Pixar film, Chris? Coco?
It is, yes.
Okay, cool.
But getting back to it, Goat Dude pulls you into the darkest timeline of the Mexican.
Goat Dude.
You'll see in a minute. He pulls you back. He pulls you there. He says sorry, and he kills you again so you can go back to the land of the dead, get the mask, because he needs you to go to this timeline and stop a man named Salvador who is trying to gather the ingredients of is it called the sacred guacamole? Or
it's the sacred guacamole.
Yeah, the sacred guacamole, which is, he's doing it, I believe, to heal himself.
Yeah.
But basically, the Goat Dude and all his Goat Dude buddies from all the different timelines have surmised if he does this, it will be the end of the Mexi-verse. So you are trying to stop him from doing this. And it just goes from there. And
just saying it out loud is just, man.
This game is so freaking far out there. And that's what's so good is, like, it never once takes itself seriously. And everything it does. This is probably the funniest game I've played since South Park last year. Easily the funniest game. And I love the humor. Like, there are so many jabs to pop culture and video games. I don't know. How many of the secret levels have you found?
Well, secret levels. I found 2 versions of the same one.
Did you find the JRPG one?
No.
That's the grindiest timeline.
The grindiest timeline.
And then there's
the Street Fighter one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Where you basically, do you remember, Sean, in Street Fighter 2, there's certain bonus levels in the middle of fighting and you destroy a car or something like that. In this one, there's a bonus level where you can destroy a car and you get points from that. I mean, you literally get, I don't know, is it pesos or something to build up your, like gold coins.
He's underselling it. The best part is as soon as you get there, there's a guy and he's like, look at this, my grandfather's new car. It's the pride and joy of his life. I'm so glad nothing's ever happened to it.
Then it goes close up to his face, to Juan's face. And he's just like, you could see he's contemplating, I got to destroy this car.
It's like a vein is bursting in his head. And then afterwards, when it cuts back to the guy who owned the car, where his face is just like slack jaw. He's just like, what the?
And the game does, the game does obvious jabs and subtle jabs of other 2D action games out there. Like, I don't know, I don't want to spoil it, but the opening where he's taking him through the Mexi-verse, the different universes, you end up walking through 2 of the games two games, one from the 8-bit era that most people think is one of the worst games ever made. I loved the game growing up as a kid.
You would.
And then a modern game from...
that was a really nice surprise.
It was nice. It was a nice touch. I kind of just want to say it, but I don't want to spoil it.
No, yeah, that's one. I think that's where like the other ones, like they're just good humor. That wasn't so much humor as it was. I think it was their nod to say like we really like what those dudes are doing.
But to your point about the humor, I'm with you right there because Saturday night I was playing along and my wife was sitting on the couch and I start going into that laugh that you guys know of so well, and I'm just losing it because of something that one of the characters sends Juan to go get something.
Yeah,
and
did you just fast forward it?
I did a little.
Why'd you do that?
Because I wanted you to see things.
I would have saw it as you talked.
It's okay.
Oh my god, I was totally watching Juan run around town, dude.
Well,
but there's no voice acting in this game.
No, there's not.
It's all text, and to do that and to make it
still
laugh
funny?
out loud funny, you have to make sure the animation is timed perfectly and the dialogue is very sharp and sophisticated and witty, and it hits all those points.
This is the part where Juan gets a Ford truck, by the way.
Yeah, it does. It just does it so well. But none of that would be important. I mean, if the platforming.
I love this because that is straight out of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, right there.
Yeah,
this right
scene.
Here, Sean.
Yes, this little side. Don't say what it is, but
look at this.
Wow.
Yeah, what a send up!
You're
right?
seeing it though. You know what they're doing.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
crazy. Plus, the very ending when you escape this level.
Yeah, you can already even just see it. I didn't even catch it the first time, but
because when I'm watching this, I'm going, "That's got to be."
Yeah,
and then at the end, it's the obvious.
Yeah, this little nod right here.
Yeah,
there it goes.
Yeah,
they're like, "Look, we can do that."
But it just does that.
Cool.
It does that throughout the game. This one. This
one. My goodness.
Did you ever play this game?
Yes.
I did.
Man.
Sup.
Triple.
Just so many things. Steadily inclined.
This is so... Dude, I really regret I didn't play this with y'all.
Dude, you got time.
Yeah, go get
Plus,
this.
I mean, for $20, you cannot go wrong with this game. But none of this would matter as far as humor goes if you guys need to focus.
I know.
I'm listening and watching this because I think the combination of this, I actually think the listeners, as you guys are talking, if they pulled up the YouTube thing just like we did and just watched it, as you guys are talking, like it's going great.
The game is. I mean, the humor would not mean a thing if the platforming was not like the previous game, just perfectly exquisite.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a joy to play.
Natch.
The power ups are so unique, particularly in this game. There's a notable difference with I would say, I don't know, you turn into a chicken. I mean,
that was in the first one.
It was in the first one,
yeah.
but they do a lot more with this power in the second game than they do in the first one.
From what I've gathered,
it's really just kind of a morph ball functionality in the first one, but in this one they do a little bit more with it.
No, they had attacks in the first one too. From what I remember.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's later on in the game. I think like that's actually, I would say that's been my one criticism of the game, and it was actually Josh when I was playing who pointed it out to me first, and I was like, no, surely it's not. And then like,
surely it's not what?
Surely he pointed out to me, he was like, I don't think they've introduced anything new. And I was like, no, they're just going to rush through this, and then they're going to introduce some new stuff. And I feel like I'm pretty far back in the game at this point, and I still haven't seen anything overwhelmingly new in terms of mechanics and design. It just feels like they've taken what they did in the first game and just made sure that they continually built levels that were well designed around those mechanics, which is fine. But it was a little bit disappointing, because all these games, usually when you have a Metroidvania type sequel, which to be fair, it's not a complete Metroidvania game. It's also a little bit of a brawler. But with those kind of games, generally you have in sequels, you get new abilities, right? You take what was in the first one and you find a way to build upon it and give something new ability. Like, what we've already seen, like from the previews from Ori, like where now it's like, here's Ori, like being able to dig through sand and all that and use that to shoot up. That's something new. Whereas this is just more of like, look, you're doing the same thing, and you even, from what I think, you pretty much discover your powers in about the same order as you did the first time. But it works still, because I think if like you're someone like Sean who didn't play the first one, I think this is a game where you have to really be introduced to everything, because they really towards the back end start to stack everything together, and it requires so much of the player in order to execute everything.
This is fantastic.
Well, let's put it. I mean,
great.
I mean, I think the notable difference in this in the combat or the weapons or however you want to call it is you meet certain people along the way in this game who help you and introduce to you new skill trees. Skill trees to me were not in the first game. You had to go to those save points, those tables, and buy, I don't know, upgrades to your stamina, upgrades to this, but you never. In order to do the skill tree here, you have to do a certain amount of pile driver moves to be able to move on to your next upgrade. Your uppercut can get stronger over time, things like that. So there is some improvement to it, but there was never a skill tree menu in the first game.
It was like what you said. It was more of like in the first game, you had those things, those upgrades. The things that were there that have returned, like the stamina and the heart stuff, that was in the first one. The way you discovered that, because that's just the exploration. But yeah, then you have the skill trees in this one, where that takes the place in the first game. You'd have to save up money and then go to town and find the person and get the ability from them. Yeah. And here they've just made it a lot more convenient, which is really good, because once you finally get that money upgrade, everything starts just unlocking so quickly. Like I got that, and then I got the one that increases the money you earn through, getting 25, 50, and 100 hit combos and all that. And all of a sudden you can earn 4,000 gold in 2 minutes, depending on the fight. And it's designed. I think the good thing with this game is that it is designed where, as long as you do good work.
See, this game is hilarious. You hear sound effects and all kinds of crazy stuff.
As long as you, as you do work and you engage with people and you're decent and learn the ins and outs of the combat, you should be able to easily fully upgrade the skill trees there. It's just kind of like a matter of time type speaking.
I will say with him jumping, it looks like one of those loose jumps.
Yeah, well, that's right now. It gets a little bit better.
It gets a little more tightened up.
Yeah, once you see. Right? Look at that.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so many good things. That, yes.
Oh my God.
There are so many great little shout outs here. Yeah. Sean's just seeing this for the first time.
I'm buying it. I don't know why I didn't. When I was watching on Twitch, like I brought up, they were already past. They were just kind of doing the brawling stuff.
Yeah,
and I mean that's fun, but there's little stuff like this that I didn't get to see, and I'm so in.
Yeah, it's a fun game, and I have to say the story itself, just about as solid as the first one. It's nothing complex. There's. But it's consistently finding a way to make you laugh. That's the important thing. Just the villains that you meet, and the fact that you start to realize the main thing you're kind of doing is assembling something that's very similar to a very popular game series.
Cast of Dewan.
That both of these two are huge fans of, that had a release last year, and I felt it was more of an 8.5.
What was this?
You were assembling something in this game. You're basically assembling something that has 3 parts to it, John.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to say what it is.
Well, John didn't like it either.
John loved it.
That's why I haven't finished it. John,
he hates it.
John thinks that I secretly hate the game.
No, you don't secretly. You freaking said it. There's no secret.
Look, the rules are that Sean loves anything he doesn't finish.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris thinks Breath of the Wild is an 8.5. You can send him hate mail at weeklygameschat@gmail.com.
To be fair, you think that Far Cry 5 is the top 5 game of the year so far.
And I stand by that.
Lightning is detected 1.6 miles from us, guys.
There's always
My
one.
weather app showed me. Just saying.
But yeah, I like it. Another criticism I would say is that
You criticize this game?
I mean, to me, it's not a perfect game. It's a very fun game. And who was it I heard describe it? Colin described this as a really good weekend game. And I agree with that. Like, it is a game you could buy on a Friday and you could have fun playing over the course of a weekend. It's not something that, that's one of the pluses to it, is that it's not something you're going to have to play for 30 hours. Like you could play this in one week and
like
you'd be
it's
done.
like when I see this game, I don't expect, I'm going to use Witcher because I know how deep that game is.
Yeah.
I don't expect this game to give me something that I think The Witcher would give me.
Sure.
As far as, story, but this will have story. It's going to be funny. You can definitely see that it's fun and kind of whimsical-ish. The guy has a beer gut and a wrestling belt on and he's walking around right now.
I just noticed the chicken skeletons.
That makes me so happy. And like you say, for $20, dude.
Yeah. I think the one thing, though, I was trying to say for one of the criticisms I would have is that, to me, outside of being in an immediate area where you gain a new power, right, a new ability, I haven't found myself, unlike, say, other Metroidvania type games, really backtracking that much. Like I haven't had much of a desire to go back. Whereas like with Ori, every time I would finally unlock an ability, I would be running back to previous areas to be like, I know I can go here, here, and here. It's more of like,
well, it's kind of like it's like the momentum of the game is so fast that it tells you the next thing to do, and you're just like, yeah, I want to keep going, and you keep mentally, and I keep going. I want to go back to those spots where there were certain color blocks where I knew I couldn't access.
Sure,
but yeah, I'm with you there. Which was going to lead me to my other point, which was the fast travel. Sean, seems unnecessary because of because it keeps driving you forward, but it's good to have it there. It seems like the fast travel is a little bit too far, far between. But that's a small complaint. Another complaint I would have, and this could be just me, it feels like sometimes when you have to do these complex platforming moves, it feels like sometimes that the controls just don't cooperate with certain moves.
I'll agree with you on the.
Whoa.
Yeah, you can do multiplayer in this game.
We could play together?
We could.
I think it's just a 2-player.
I can do 4.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys, when are you going to bring that up, guys?
Well, I didn't get to do that, so.
Yeah.
You could at least bring up that it's an option, guys.
It's not an option. Don't lie to our audience.
I tried to get Josh to co-op with me, but he was all like, it looks like.
Oh, Josh played it?
Well, he was here. But no, he didn't. He was like, I don't want to play. Looks like the first one.
Compared to, it does look a lot like the first one in that the art style, but the first one kind of had a more, chalky.
Well,
chalky art design. That chalky is not a negative. It looked like it was done with chalk. It was drawn with chalk. This one is just a brighter, more beautiful game. From an already beautiful game.
I love the colors, man.
Yeah. It looked like, to be fair, the first one looks like a game that was originally built on a PlayStation Vita and during the PS3 era. And this is obviously a game that was designed during the PS4 era. This is a game that you can put in 4K if you have a Pro and all that. And it looks beautiful.
Like that didn't occur to me.
But, I think, I really do think this is a solid game. Especially if you're into brawlers. That's the other reason I don't find myself going back, I think, is that you have to be aware that it's not a true 100% Metroidvania. It is also very much a brawler, and brawlers are usually about continually moving forward and not going backwards.
I think it's a full-blown Metroid game. Well, it's just that the brawler is the combat style.
Yes, but you're just wanting to go forward. You want to keep going.
But all the moves all the new moves you get help you access new areas.
Yeah, that's about the one really Metroidvania thing in this. It's not like you're getting some new weapon, right? You're just getting more brawler.
Well, that's what a
attacks.
Metroidvania is. It's about power-ups, skill trees.
What else do you need other than a mask and a belt, dude?
You can unlock in the world different costumes. Right now I have a chicken. No,
You just busted open a pin. Yeah,
I was wearing the chicken costume. Now I'm wearing the devil costume.
That's
Diablo, son.
Diablo.
I've been wearing like a very colorful full suit.
You can have 4 people playing this game
Yes.
online
I'm not sure if it's online or
or
not.
local.
Oh, another cool feature. You do not have to save in this game. If you go back,
Yes.
well, you can't go back. Those little stations there, there's these little stations where you access your outfits. Just simply walking by it saves your game.
Automatically.
That's
And
super
replenishes your
automatically.
health.
Yeah. So there's no real need to.
So you could do this move in the first game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All this stuff is. And John, with you as far as like the later parts, especially as far as the main thing to me is, I would say, like places where you either have to roll through continuously, right?
Yeah.
And then do something immediately right afterwards. Or you're having to, and Sean, you haven't seen this yet, basically change between the world of the living and the dead back to back in short succession. Like you'll get stuck between walls or
Is that like
whatever.
Link Between Worlds style?
Yeah, that's a
It's
good way
almost
to say
it almost has a Dark World mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense completely, especially for it being so versed in, Mexican lore, that it would have the land of the, or was it the land of the dead, I guess? Is that the way to say it? I don't know how to say it. Wherever they went in Coco, there's going to be an armed mariachi, and he's going to probably try to rob you, and you're going to have to play a song. That's not in this game at all. Sean is just like completely checked out in the conversation. He's just like, look at all this. Look at all these
This is
hits.
great.
And this is early, man. This is like,
And this is the stuff I missed that would have hooked me.
yeah. I love that. Yes, I do love the fact still that like whenever you have a showdown here and you win, you have to break a piñata open.
See,
That
it
just
saves
feels-
automatically right
Yeah.
there. And these stations here used to be the place where you purchase upgrades
Yes.
and all that stuff, but now it's just a repository for your outfits.
Oh,
to
hold
unlock
up.
new outfits.
Big word alert.
Repository?
Yeah.
Do we say that word a lot, Chris?
I do.
When's the last time you heard repository on our podcast?
Oh, on the podcast?
Yeah.
No, that's a little bit.
Okay, when I say things like that, I'm speaking just of our audience, just of this fine program, Chris.
Me and our
Die. I
listeners
hate
talk
you.
about it on Facebook all the time.
And with this game, you don't necessarily have to play the first one. It kind of catches you up. I'd still recommend the first one.
Sure.
It's on every platform known to man. In fact, I think it's free on if you have Xbox Games Pass.
Yes, it is.
But you can get it. I don't think it's on the Switch.
Which is really weird.
It is a little weird. And I think I'm not sure. Is it because of a certain loyalty to PlayStation? PlayStation was our first platform. So now we're just releasing it initially on the PlayStation and PC.
I
I don't know how that works.
I wouldn't be
'Cause it
surprised
surprised
if it's more of just, they're not a big studio. I mean, they've been working on this game for years. Everyone forgets the first Guacamelee, like the actual first game, came out originally in 2013. So it's been 5 years since we got the first game. And some people would say like one of the criticisms you could in theory make on this game is to say that, this might have been more impressive had it came out back in 2015 or so, or, the normal timeline we expect with a lot of sequels. Personally, I don't really care about that. I'm just glad that it's a solid game and that it works really well and it's fun to play. Man, I just like looking at the art in this game. I think that's the art thing. Like, I just really appreciate with this game is that its art style is unique. Like, there's nothing even remotely in the same style on any of the last 2 generations of consoles. I think.
Did y'all mostly play as one?
Yes.
Like you didn't want to switch up to do anything like be anybody else or different costumes?
It didn't make sense to
Yeah.
me. to do it that way.
I'd probably do it like if I was...
If I was in co-op, sure.
Exactly. If I had been in the game and I was going back and playing with a friend, then I'd probably do it.
Which I think that's why they designed it with that
Probably.
in mind.
You don't know.
I mean, sure, you could do it that way, but you look ridiculous, particularly when people are talking to you like you're Juan and you look like Lupita.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't you just keep name dropping then, John?
Okay, I will. Martin Van Buren.
What?
He was a terrible president. Anyways, John.
Are we at that point?
Yeah, I mean, there's not like a ton you can say about the game.
Without
I do
spoiling
like
it.
this. This is a
see
straight
this?
up ode to freaking Metroid right here.
Yeah.
It's a Chozo statue, and they call it in the game a Chuzu statue.
Yeah.
That's dope.
It's like...
And of course, just the fact that there's a goat talking to you,
Yeah.
right? I mean, look at him.
Dios mío.
I even like here, you know, the jokes they do with him too, where like you have the different timelines, and he's like, "Were you from the meanest timeline?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Were you from the lamest timeline?"
No, I like when you come up to certain statues and it opens up a dialogue sequence between two of these characters from different universes, and
Yeah.
they're arguing about which one's supposed to help them.
Yes,
Like, oh wait, is it your power up or my power up? I don't know.
just little things like that.
I like it, man. It's good stuff.
John, do you feel comfortable handing out Richards today?
Sure, yeah, I can
Okay.
do that.
How many Richards would you give the Guacamelee?
Oh, it's easily a 9.5.
Oh, dang. Oh, he's real high on
It's
it.
the game's so confident. It knows exactly what it is. It's not.
Sure.
It's not trying to be anything more. The art style is beautiful. The writing, while irreverent, is just brilliant in its timing,
Brilliant.
in everything. And the gameplay, aside from a couple of control issues, which could be my very own issues because it's complicated. It's complicated platforming. This game is a winner by any measure. So I give it a 9.5.
Sweet. I guess I should probably say mine, huh?
We don't care if you don't care.
Ouch. You don't
8.5.
care? I've gone back and forth, actually. It's been as high as a 9 for me. But I think as I've gotten later into the game, I feel confident at this point in saying it's an 8 for me. It's a solid game. It's not, like I said, I would have maybe liked to have seen a little bit more innovation in some of its design, but what it does, like its main innovation to me, I guess, is kind of mechanics that it does within its world as far as platforming challenges and
I feel like this is a shout out
combats.
to Mario.
Yeah, that's a good call. I really enjoyed satire. I think it's a fun game for a weekend. I think it's a game that, again, proves that you don't need to have... It's not a requirement to have the deepest story out there if you do have solid gameplay and level design. And that's where I think this game does shine best. Like, it was a reminder as soon as I started playing that, oh, wait, even though I haven't played this in 5 years, I know what I'm doing. And that's because they've made the combat just as solid as it was the first time around. I hope at some point they make another one, maybe do a little bit something new as far as control wise, or I guess power wise, I should say. And I also hope that it doesn't take them 5 years to do the next one if they do. And if not, that they move on to something else. And that's just as good as this was, because this was definitely a huge hit for the PlayStation generation, and I think it would be awesome if it is a hit this time around for this generation too. But that is Guacamelee.
Yeah, I haven't played it. I'm going to go buy it. I think you should too. I'm just saying.
He's totally buying this as soon as he gets home. Josh is going to be so ticked off.
Look at it.
Oh, I know. It's definitely fun as it goes on.
Oh, Guacamelee 2.
For sure. Again,
Good
available on PC and PlayStation. I think through some point this month, if you're on PlayStation, you have PS Plus, you can get it for like 17, 18
Yeah,
bucks.
it's a couple bucks off.
Yeah, so
Like even
it's
right
not
now?
expensive.
$17.99.
Right now.
Yep,
I believe
right
so.
there.
I can get it for $17
Yes.
and 99 cents.
You've heard it here first.
What?
And now you know.
Do they
It's a
know
no-brainer.
that that's a steal?
That's a no-brainer, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm 9 hours in, and I think I don't know how far that is. It's 9 hours in.
Have you
I
made
don't
it
know how.
to the Illuminati?
No,
Oh, there's that lightning and thunder I told you guys
I
about.
like how I said it that way, so you won't exactly know when
Hey,
it's
you think the podcast can make it through a storm?
We'll find out.
Because we're finding out in about 1 minute.
Do you need me to go get your Thunder Buddy coat?
My what?
Your Thunder Buddy coat.
Did you have a Thunder Buddy coat?
No, that's what you get for a dog, so they don't get.
Oh, there's the rain.
It hugs them.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I don't own a dog. I didn't know that.
You're a heartless man.
I don't
not.
own a dog either. My dogs live with me.
They're my family.
They're my family. I don't own them. I just tell them what to do,
Well,
tell them when to eat, tell them when to sleep.
Kind of like your wife does you.
well, you know
Exactly.
what? Like your wife, I'm going to tell you. Let's wrap this up so I can save this real quick in case what he's talking about. Now I'm looking outside.
He's seeing the weather.
Oh, he doesn't
needs
wanna
it.
get- yeah.
He wants
Yeah,
to
I
save
don't
our
wanna
audio
save
thus
this.
far, so we
Yes.
don't have to try to recreate this magic that's already happened.
Yeah. Let's do it. Hot off the press and straight to your ears. Weekly Games Chat presents the news.
As they said today in the Kavanaugh hearing, Mr. Chairman, point of order.
That's funny.
We would like to clarify, and we don't know this for sure yet, but while we were discussing this during the break, we discovered powers that I obtained that Chris has not yet. I don't know because I didn't finish the first game.
I can't remember.
I got
It's
a
been
long
5
way.
years.
Yeah, I got a long way in the first game. I didn't finish the first game, so it's possible, and I think that there are power-ups in this game that are new to the series as opposed to the previous game.
Sure.
Don't know it for sure, but just wanted the audience to know that that's
There are
up
two
in the
things.
air. Maybe we can
potentially.
clarify it next week.
Well, you guys are only, so far in the game, guys.
I know, it's kind of sad.
I mean, all that.
Yeah, I think I looked. I had 3 bosses left. When I looked. I
Chris,
was like, okay.
I don't care how many bosses you have left if you can't do what John says he can do.
I have.
Do you
I
want-
have fewer
you'll play
bosses
co-op
left
tonight?
than.
Yeah.
You'll play co-op?
Yes, we'll probably get a trophy. Yeah.
Anyways,
You got to get on.
Discord?
Oh, I'm kidding. Well, that would be really dumb.
Oh.
We're only going to use Discord for Nintendo Switch stuff.
News!
that said, first story up, somber one.
Yeah, this is not this.
This was not fun just because we recorded this last week's episode. We went to lunch and I came back to this.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
is
was-
that? Yeah.
Yeah, I got back and I sat down with Josh. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But Jacksonville shooting.
I'm sure you all heard about it.
I don't want to even say his name. I'm not going to say this guy's name.
Yeah.
Yeah. But a man from Baltimore has been implicated in the shooting that left 10 people injured and fatally wounded 22-year-old Elijah Clayton, also known as True Boy, and 27-year-old Taylor Robertson, also known as Spot Me Please. The shooting occurred at a Madden NFL 19 video game tournament in Jacksonville. The shooter targeted fellow gamers at the tournament, walking past spectators and patrons. The shooter carried 2 handguns, including one equipped with a laser sight. It has been reported he suffered from a history of mental illness. I think that's what his family said.
Yeah.
Sad.
It's very sad, man. And if you listen to this, obviously, and you were affected by this, or if you knew these people, man, know that we here at Weekly Games Chat, our hearts are heavy, and we hate that this happened. Normally, events like this, video game tournaments, and people, we get together, we're excited, we're a great community, and it sucks on all levels that somebody did this.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about it.
It's like, it was really weird because when I saw the headline and everything, I was like, that sucks, but at the same time I'm not surprised, which is kind
Also
of
sad.
Yeah, it's like, it's really sad that it's getting to be that point in where this doesn't in any way shock me when it happens. I mean, it's like, I've seen it first it was back in 2008 or whatever with movies, and you're like, well, that's gone. And then last year, I mean, for, me, I used to go to freaking festivals pretty much all the time, and what happened in Vegas last year, I'm like, well, there's that, and now it's this. It's like, okay, now it's finally come to video games. It sucks. I'm with you, Sean. I know True Boy was pretty big in the Madden community. He has won championships and such. And from my understanding, of course I play MUT and all that, but never to the competitive level these guys do. But going on to things like the Madden Reddit forums and all that, the Madden community is a really tight community, very supportive of each other. So it just sucks to see a group of people going through this, and I feel for them. And I hope that EA is able to figure everything out so that they can resume this stuff, because there's a bunch of people that really enjoy taking place, that enjoy the game of football and video game football, and love to compete in it. And I hope they can figure out how to do this and keep it in a way that is still as open as it used to be as far as access to getting into a tournament, competing wise, but also hopefully it can be something that maybe is a little bit better equipped to deal with issues like this, so that if someone tries to do something like this, maybe he can be taken down or denied the opportunity as easily as he had here, and what sounds like happened. John? Anything?
No, I can. I mean, I can let y'all's statement stand as just fine.
Esports Olympics updates. While the future remains unclear for the admission into the Olympics, Thomas Bach, the IOC president, has made one thing clear. Esports that promotes violence or discrimination will not be accepted. Bach made clear that any games holding these characteristics would not be accepted, as they are contradictory to Olympic values.
That's fair.
Yeah, I could see that he would say that.
I mean, think about it. We don't even know if I think we all agreed that at some point, possibly, did we, that esports could make it to a form of
I think
Olympic
it may
competition? Possibly
in the Olympics.
Yeah,
I know me and Chris thought possibly it could. Maybe you didn't. But I mean, even though it's unclear, like the guy's like, hey, if we do, all right, I'm not saying we are, but if we do allow esports, it's not going to be of that bad stuff. So
Yeah,
I think that's keeping the conversation going.
He makes an interesting point. I don't know that I agree with it, and I don't know what he means by discrimination specifically. I might need to be educated on that, because nothing comes to mind.
Grand Theft Auto.
So you mean something that promotes stereotypes in a game?
Possibly.
Yeah, probably.
That makes sense.
I mean,
that makes sense.
I
Like
can't see them.
Guacamelee.
I can't see them putting forth like Call of Duty in there, because that's a game where literally you're playing as an avatar of a human, designed to be realistically designed as a soldier of war, right? Shooting other people in the
I'm
face.
talking about discrimination.
Oh yeah,
I get the violence part.
I think
the Grand Theft Auto and the trafficking and stereotypes.
Sure.
That makes sense now. But one of the things that puzzles me about this is, what is the sport? Is the sport video games, or like video games is to hockey? The way, I mean, it's like this analogy. Which sport? How does the Olympics decide which game in the sport?
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And if they introduce hockey as an e-sport, well, they have hockey.
I don't think it will be that.
I know what you're saying. I understand.
What about me? I'm Call of Duty. What about me? I'm Splatoon.
I don't think
What
they'll
about
do
me?
that.
I'm Destiny 2.
I think more than likely, one of two things will happen. Either it will just probably be either League of Legends or
violence,
Dota.
though. That's fine. Even though it's fantasy.
Fantasy violence.
That's not. I don't think that's the kind of violence
I'm
they're
just
going, because
saying.
we have boxing in the Olympics and wrestling. They're fine with
agree.
that. There's a difference between that and actively like blowing. Blood.
I could see
something
like the Overwatches, the Dotas, those kind of games.
And WoW. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But
I think
who
those-
makes the cut and win? I mean,
Well,
I think that's the slippery slope. Hockey is hockey forever.
Sure.
Or curling is curling forever.
It would be these. I think it would be those two likely things, just because one, they have the biggest audiences,
Yeah.
and two, they're the most team based. Like those. I mean, what was it? Just like I was watching the international final for Dota last week, their big event, and that was the largest purse they'd ever had in an esports thing. It was like
How
something.
big was it? Did it have two handles or just one long one?
It was 23 million was the total purse this year,
Jeez.
and
Split between how many people?
between 16 teams, the top team took 11 million home.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're talking, on the type of level that we see in major golf tournaments for the winner. Most majors in golf, you get about $10 million. So it's gotten to that level now, and I could easily see where they do that, like where it's like you have teams from Europe competing, an American team, and China's going to destroy all of them because they have like 400 teams. But I could see it work. The other thing I could see them doing instead, and also makes a lot more sense, is getting into it and saying, we're going to do something a little bit separate that's actually not part of the Summer Winter Olympics, but is instead the E-Olympics, and then having a breakdown to all the different types of games out there that do esports.
And I was just thinking, the winningest medalist in history is Michael Phelps.
Yeah.
What if the winningest medalist in history becomes a Call of Duty player?
That'd be hilarious.
With the different modes.
Yeah.
You could be like the 7 meter, whatever meter relay and the backstroke, whatever they call that crap. But
What?
but it's just like,
Why'd you look at me like you were turning into a demon?
but to me, if you start dissecting
Right.
video games and what they are,
Sure.
it just seems to me a lot of people have to come to the conclusion that this just,
Well, it's a skill-based thing.
they're great. I love them, but they don't necessarily belong in the Olympics. And
Yeah.
that's okay,
It's
man.
still
Curling? To me, it's more for them. It's more about the fact that they understand that the Olympics a lot of times are losing money. And if there's a way to make more money, I mean, esports generates a ton of revenue.
does. You're right.
And, just like this year, after the end of the tournament this year for the international, it was announced they're going to China for the first time next year. It's going to be in Shanghai for the international. And there's a reason for that, because they will make a ton of money in
Right.
Shanghai there. So I totally understand them realizing that, there are certain sports that probably will never get a lot of attention in the Olympics, but if you were to add some of these that are very much skilled based, like they are, like, for instance, we have rifle shooting in the Olympics. That's not a sport, right? That's a skill. That's a talent that you have. That's no different than the kind of person who learns patterns and knows how to execute on a keyboard and mouse. That's the same concept.
Under pressure and things of that nature.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
And there's still
hold on.
there's still a me versus you element.
The guy who taps on a keyboard does not have to compensate for wind. They do not have to compensate for
They have to compensate
temperature.
for time. That's
They
what
have
they
to
do.
compensate for their teammate dying before they anticipated
But you said
them
it's
to.
the same thing.
It is. It requires coordination, team effort, and execution of skill.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying
As
to
a
go
gamer, you're kind of throwing me off that you don't see that. I guess.
if you watch these guys,
No, the point is, hockey is hockey.
Hockey.
And rifle, whatever they call it, figure skating is figure skating.
sure,
What's the category for video games? Call of
video
Duty,
games,
Splatoon,
or just call it esports.
Destiny,
And you could have a different.
Overwatch,
To be fair, they
think
could
you're-
break it down.
yeah.
You could break it
video
down.
game solitaire,
Well, now you're just
now you're
trolling.
just being original.
Puzzle
Now you're
Quest?
just
Yeah.
being a jerk to them.
Hearthstone.
Because,
Possibly.
yeah, that could be
That's
one.
a good one.
You could have a whole entire division of the Olympics
play Hearthstone,
that is
John.
esports, and you could have a card division for things like, Hearthstone or
Is there a poker?
Gwent.
Witcher 1.
Is poker in the Olympics?
Gwent.
You could make an argument to it.
Is
That's up to
poker in
them.
the Olympics?
I have no idea.
They
I don't
probably
think it
win
is.
because it's betting. That's
Yeah.
probably why.
There's gambling involved.
But yeah, you could have one that's based on shooters. You could have one that is based on.
But where does it stop? Is my point.
Probably ones that they don't find have
And
value.
how do they decide which shooter?
I don't know.
Probably they'll pick the ones that are the
you
most
don't-
popular.
No,
with all
we
this,
don't
you
know.
don't get my point. You don't get my point.
Well, to be fair,
Which kind of hockey do you want to play?
hold on. To be fair, here
Hockey?
they do the
Or
exact
hockey?
same. They've done the exact same thing with sports.
Hockey.
They've done the exact same thing with sports pretty much the whole entire modern Olympics. You don't have baseball anymore in the Olympics. You
do.
No, you don't. They've gotten rid of it. You only have softball, and they're about to give up on that. And it's because
softball?
Like women's fast pitch softball.
Which type of women's fast pitch softball?
What's he doing?
He's trying to
women's fast pitch softball.
To me, the point
I'm just saying that every category is definitive because you don't have to variate between titles,
but they
types of games.
They've done that.
In the Olympics?
Yeah. Remember back before where Olympics, as far as NHL hockey, with hockey, you couldn't be a professional athlete. Now you can.
That's a rule.
Yes.
That's not a game.
Who's Gordon and where's he making landfall?
Gordon's making landfall? Oh, the hurricane. Yeah, that's tonight. It's coming through. It's to the west of us. We're getting the tail end of it.
No, but who's getting it?
Like New Orleans and Texas.
Hey, guys, if you're listening and you hear our voices, we hope everything turns out all right, because I didn't realize it was hitting tonight.
We are a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Oh, my God.
We don't need the Olympics to validate us.
Sure, they don't. But the Olympics probably wants them.
I think we're trying to put a round peg in a square hole. Square peg in a round hole.
I mean, I just kind of view it as the Olympics evolving. And that's fine, because they should evolve to things that,
they have evolved
them
from
survive.
when they started.
I think we should go back to nude men in like leafs over their
You
junk.
only want people from Greece competing? It's Sparta versus Athens, round one.
What's his name?
I bet the Olympics were lit back in the day.
I bet they were.
He tripped over it.
2018 is a record-breaking year. It's already proved to be a great year in video game sales, according to NPD. U.S. consumers have spent $19.5 billion on video game-related products during the first. The ones are half. Oh wait, that's supposed to say first. Half of the year. The spending represents a 40% increase year over year. The report also indicated console sales are a 7-year high, partly due to the consistent sales across all platforms, as well as the NES Classic and SNES Classic. Most of the total sales come from software, however, accounting for $16.9 billion. Yeah, I think I saw the biggest thing as far as has been spike wise has been accessories, right? Mm-hmm. Primarily because everyone's buying Xbox and PlayStation store cards so they can buy skins in Fortnite and not have to use their credit cards. So that has been crazy, but yes. Definitely continues to look like the video game industry is very, very, very healthy.
Doesn't need the Olympics at all.
They want it. No, yeah, you're right. We don't need the Olympics, John. They need us.
No, I think a lot of people out there need the Olympics to validate something they care about. And that's sad.
I don't need it. Battlefield 5 has been delayed. While Battlefield 5 had been scheduled for release on October 19th, EA has announced that the game has been pushed back 1 month and will now release on November 20th. According to Oscar Gabrielson, general manager of DICE, the delay is primarily due to player feedback. He points to gameplay tempo, soldier visibility, and player friction as a topic of concern. They are settled on the later date in order to, quote, get it right. He can say that, and I'm sure there's probably some truth to it because they usually are always updating after release. I think they honestly looked at the calendar and they realized it was in their best interest to get the heck out of Dodge, kind of like what they should have done to Titanfall a couple of years ago, because they were set up to basically be in a position where a week before Call of Duty comes out, they're coming out the week after, and the week after that is Red Dead. So it's just not a good place to be if you're EA making bets, because on consoles, they're third place of that, and I think we've seen that, and it makes so much more sense what they did. They punted a month, and it's like there's anything like Battlefield or even as large as Battlefield that will be out that period. They can come in there. People have played Call of Duty that maybe also want to play Battlefield will have said, hey, let me check this out now and see what this is like, because it's a little bit different than Call of Duty.
I'm not going to comment on this because if I comment on this, we just get sucked into the Red Dead thing. So it's fine.
They all run. Everybody runs. Far Cry 5, New Game Plus. Far Cry 5 has now added New Game Plus as well as a higher difficulty. It can be accessed through the main menu once completing the campaign. It allows players to replay the story and all the progression intact. The infamous difficulty will allow and feature more challenging enemies with additional health. Players can also improve more perks like bigger ammo bags and quicker cooldown times. It's perfect timing for John as he recently finished the campaign.
Did you?
That will be
I
fun.
did.
It took you forever.
Congrats, John.
No, it didn't take me forever.
Did you like the ending?
Once I picked it back up.
I'll say this.
Did you like
beat
the
it
ending?
faster than Zelda? I'll give you that.
Did I what?
Did you like the ending?
I thought the ending was cool.
Okay.
I didn't
See?
You cannot. I mean, I didn't hate the ending. It didn't disappoint me because I treat a Far Cry game like it's a Far Cry game. Any and all things can happen, and this game proved that it does happen.
Okay.
And plus, there's a lot of, to me, it's very open ended with several possibilities.
Kind of like the Sopranos ending?
Sure. About, like, I can think of 3 or 4 possibilities as what exactly happened in the ending, because the ending looks definitive. It looks like you know what was happening.
But do you?
But if
I take what's presented.
But if you pay attention to things that are going on in your surroundings as you're playing the game, the ending doesn't shock you that much.
That's fair.
It's not necessarily what you want, but the game isn't throwing something at you that you didn't expect.
You can make a case that they do. I mean, just based on what the plot is, that they tell you in a little bit. I just didn't like it. I just thought it was cheap.
I think AAA games don't produce endings like this. I applaud this game for doing it. Most AAA games don't have the balls to do this.
Oh, the balls.
Which is,
Okay,
but because it's a AAA game, and it's Far Cry,
right?
Yeah,
and that's the one. And that, to me, that's the one staple that can comfortably get away with doing it. And I think because of the sales numbers, they've very much gotten away with doing it.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, people buy things,
but
and they're going to make their money.
Yeah.
The only Far Cry game I ever took seriously and did a serious story was Primal. Because it took the culture seriously, it took the history seriously, it took the environment seriously. There was
4
nothing
was
really
serious.
Far Cry about it.
4 had serious parts to it, like very serious parts.
Yeah.
3, the ending to 3 was actually pretty serious in terms of what's up. And 2, 2's got some seriousness to it too. I mean, I'll say this. They've never had a completely happy ending. Like, that's nothing new. Like, no one ever gets away completely scot-free in these things. I just kind of viewed it as, I don't know, the ones that they've done prior to this, I thought I was much more on board with what they were saying. Like, I got it, and I was like, you earned that, like, to me. And this just came out of nowhere, and it was like, oh, okay.
It didn't come out of nowhere, though. If you paid attention,
I mean, like,
and it completely earned the ending.
Yeah,
it completely earned it.
I didn't.
I might not have gone that way, but that doesn't mean you didn't earn it. Yeah, I see where you went there.
Yeah, I guess
the ending. I might not agree with it or like
it,
it, but it made sense.
What's the better way to say this? It was more of like, if that's your message to this of like why I would spend 40 hours here, I'm like, I don't care for it.
So you have to win every game.
No, I don't mind that. Because,
nobody
like,
says beat a game anymore. They say finish a game.
As I said this before, I've had plenty of characters who things went wrong or didn't go right or whatever. I've had those experiences. Shit. I've had Mass Effect where I've played that darkest timeline and seen how it ended up, and I totally felt like, okay, I got there. I made those choices. That's why this is happening. I can be down for that. And likewise, where I ended up in the end of Far Cry 3, even when I made my choice the first time I did the ending to it, I felt it was very much, that is an ending. If the way you choose it the first time is not a good ending. Well, and I felt very much fine with that ending because I felt like that seems fitting for the way that character is now gone. This just didn't feel like that. It just felt like, okay, here comes the guy and he's going to say some things and this is going to happen. And you can either do that or you can walk away and still something's going to happen and there's really nothing you can do about it.
No, ladies and gentlemen, this was not the Far Cry 5 episode.
Right? Anyway, Xbox All Access.
Thanks a lot, Sean. You let him get the last word.
He hates that.
I mean, it was more so to hear about what you thought about the game, and then old Callback McGee started going.
Callback McGee.
He wants me to bait in.
No, he didn't.
He did.
He wanted us to go, hey, John, how was it? Did you troll him a little bit to get him to say all that stuff?
He wants me to.
Not at all.
Exactly.
He does. It's okay.
I thought since we'd covered it this morning in IM, I thought that was it.
Yeah.
But
what's IM, John?
We should do a thing with me, you, and Casey and Jeff. We just all talk about it because that would be fun.
What, 3 against 1?
Right? We get Mike D in there too.
4 against 1?
Yeah. Microsoft has officially unveiled its Xbox All Access program.
Just like we said.
Ooh. Program lets customers purchase an Xbox One X or S in monthly installments when they commit to a 2-year Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass subscription. Xbox Game Pass will be for a limited time and only available in the United States. The Xbox One X bundle costs $34.99 for 24 months, while your S bundle is going to be $21.99 for 24 months. One could speculate this is a test run to determine its success with plans to bring it back permanently if enough units are moved. I believe they did something similar to this at the end of the 360. Of course, they didn't have Game Pass at the time, but they did have that whole entire thing where it was like, get an Xbox for, I think it was like, agree to subscribe to Live for 2 years, and you could get it for like something like where you pay $50 down, and then you just do the rest there. So
yep,
it's been clear they're going down this direction. It makes sense because, I mean, especially the S bundle right now. Like they said with the S bundle, you're basically giving it
away.
Yeah, you're like pretty much getting something where if you were to spend the exact same amount on everything, you save about $50 or something along the way.
We'll see. I mean, we don't know what new consoles they're going to bring out or when that'll be, and if you'll be stuck paying for this. I don't know. It's a great deal if you don't have an Xbox. I have an S, but I'm thinking of the Xbox One X bundle.
Sure.
That would be pretty dope.
I mean, and that's a lot easier to do than $500, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, DJ money, but it's still pretty cool.
Do you just say DJ Haywood and then like $500?
It's not DJ Haywood. Let's just go ahead and clarify that.
I'm sorry, DJ Haygood, and then like $500 just magically appears in your wallet.
I mean, it could.
It kind of just works like a
just saying
a magical element in the
I'm
game.
Worldwide, Chris.
Yeah. Worldwide, wide. That's $1,000 right there. But yeah, definitely a cool deal. Microsoft wants to acquire more studios.
Yeah, to bring you content to that all-access program.
Microsoft is not done building its studio portfolio, according to Matt Booty.
Yeah.
Great name. Head of Microsoft Studios. They have interest in developers that want to bring, quote, content that is a little different to what our big AAA franchises can deliver. I don't want to seem like we're going out to fill a quota. It's not about filling a spreadsheet by any means. We will, however, have an interest in studios right now that fit this criteria of 50 to 100 people who are making games on a 2 to 3 year cadence and have content that we think will be of interest to our Game Pass subscribers. That means content that is a little different to what our big AAA franchises can deliver. That kind of fits what they've been doing.
I just love that a Microsoft guy mentioned quota and spreadsheets in his statement.
Does it make you?
That makes me so. That's exactly what they do at Microsoft.
Did your Richard like grow a little
I was
bit?
Like, hey, you're meeting exactly what I think of you guys over there.
Actually, spreadsheets and pivot tables. Yeah. That's cool. Like 50 to 100 sounds about right. Because I'm sure the idea for them is going to be if you make something that works, then we're going to grow your studio. So it's like they're not bogging themselves down to like say, we're going to go buy this studio that's got 250 to 300 people, and if the thing doesn't work out,
300 people's life.
Yeah, like the thing doesn't work out, we've got to shutter it, kind of like the way they did with Lionhead.
Yeah,
but that's cool. Not surprised.
Yeah.
Apple announced event.
What?
Apple has announced it will be hosting an event on September 12th. New iPhones, the Apple Watch 4, and more are expected to be revealed. 3 new iPhones are expected, as well as an Apple Watch that will likely feature a larger display.
Son of a...
Might be almost time for me to get a new iPhone finally. Been forever.
I think around then I will be able. Mine will be paid off. You know, like for Verizon.
That's why I haven't been upgrading.
Yeah, you go to that program where they just add the little money to your bill and take all of it. We'll have to see what the deal is on these phones. I like my phone.
It's nice when your phone bill drops from like $100 to like $60 because you don't have to pay that phone anymore.
Exactly.
I would just love. I can't wait to see this potentially bigger watch.
Yeah. Where is your watch, by the way?
It's at home. I gotta clean it.
Why'd you do that? Does it stink?
Did you take it fishing?
No, I didn't wear it out there. I'll mow the yard with it, and I'll walk with it, and I have this like plastic cover over it, and the sweat trickles into the plastic.
Oh, it's not even with a thing.
Is your smell?
It smells like an old batting glove.
I know that smell.
Yeah, that's the smell.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Leather.
Nice. Memories.
Ooh,
press between the pages of my mind.
I hope it's like the size of
So he don't know this song, so he's gonna let you keep singing.
It's got to be some standards from like 1950s. We're past copyright. You're good.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. It would be funny if the watch is like the size of a iPhone tablet or the iPad.
Finally, a watch for Shaq.
Yeah. This is the greatest watch ever.
O'Neal?
Yes.
Still can't hit a free throw.
Oof.
PlayStation Store is fixed. Sony has finally unveiled a better way to search for games in the PlayStation Store. The scroll method has been replaced with a new keyboard function. In addition to creating a faster search tool, users will enjoy expanded functionality as the tool can be used to search for games by name as well as genre, studio, or even publisher. That's good.
I mean, it's all right. We're only how many years into the PlayStation Store?
Yeah, there's like...
I didn't mind the way it used to be. I mean, obviously, because I guess I was just used to it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It would pretty much figure out what you wanted by the second letter.
I've noticed that's true, especially if it's like new, right?
Old stuff, though?
New. But, believe me.
Hey, I heard this thing that everything that comes after the word but is here we go. Go ahead, Chris.
It's... That's fine. It's basically, if you add something first that had like 5 things that were similar in name, or was something that was older, I found like when I was searching on the store, especially if I was like looking for a movie just to rent,
Who rents movies on PlayStation?
It would just like sometimes it
that guy.
Like I was literally looking. I was literally one day looking for Horizon Zero Dawn because I wanted to get the complete edition, and like for whatever reason, it didn't even pick it up until I got done with Zero. That was like when it finally went, this is what you mean, huh? Like it wasn't that it didn't know this is, huh? Yeah.
See, but I don't think that was the way that you would input the search for Horizon. I think it was just the AI in the system. It just was.
It would be like Event Horizon and all these other things popping up. You're like, what the heck?
Look, guys, when I do...
Say it out loud. I can't read your lips.
When
I can't
do
read
off
lips.
the mic signals...
I don't know when you're going to figure it out that I can't read lips.
To flow. Penny's tail is hitting the bag. See? There it is. On cue.
Move the tail.
Move the bag.
Is what.
That's what this meant.
Everything okay now?
Yeah, thanks,
Can you
John.
continue?
Yes.
Can
Richard,
you collect your thoughts?
Chris, go to the next thing.
Jimmy John's.
Not happening because of that.
No.
Anthem announcement. Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry, Skip. Did we cover PlayStation Plus games last week?
I don't know. Let's just say
I didn't get the show notes.
Yeah, sorry. Destiny 2, God of War 3, another World Anniversary Edition, Cube Director's Cut, Sparkle 2, and Foul Play are all coming to PlayStation Plus this month. Of course, the biggest one is Destiny 2.
That's anecdotal. But,
well, seeing as the expansion came out today.
Are you going to play The Forsaken?
Am I? Probably not.
Exactly. That would be a great topic for next week, wouldn't it?
Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. Well, that would give us more time to play Spider-Man.
I'll have it beat. I gotta get that done so I can go to NBA 2K. So you hate Destiny.
I don't hate Destiny. I hate you talking about NBA 2K. So I'm trying to push that back
NBA
till other
2K
games
is
come
like
out.
way down the line.
Yeah, we know. We know exactly when that game comes out.
How about we just do a Guacamelee 2 spoiler cast?
That's funny. That's funny.
It's going to be great.
Anthem announcements. BioWare has announced that the demo for Anthem will be available on February 1st for Xbox One, PS4, and PC.
Along with Switch? Oh, what? No.
It will be accessible to EA Access and Origin Access subscribers at both the basic and premier tiers. Tiers.
Hold up.
Hold up.
Those who pre-order the game will also have access to the demo. In addition to this announcement, BioWare has also informed fans that all story DLC will be free for the game.
See,
for all players, not just some players, but all players.
I don't like that it's story DLC.
Why?
Because that's a weird way to say that, right? Instead of just all future DLC or all DLC. They're saying story for a reason. That means they're going to have different kind of DLC, guys.
No skins, right? I mean,
yeah, I'm sure they'll have like that. That wouldn't surprise.
So yeah, you guys, that's not a red flag for you guys, then, huh?
not really.
If it's all cosmetic stuff, I don't care.
But when the way he says BioWare,
yeah,
I hear BioWare.
BioWare. It's BioWare.
Why are you looking at him?
Personally,
I'm talking to you. Jimmy
I like
John's.
it. I like it because it. We see it like right now. If you, for instance, if you download Destiny 2, like I did download it.
We know you did.
And you go and you get on the title screen, it's got the Forsaken symbol. But of course, Taden Company have that DLC. They're going to be able to go play it because they've purchased everything else. If I started now, even though I'm in the same world as them, I'm carried off from them. So now it's like, I don't have that problem with this game because I could be a person who plays BioWare Anthem consistently. I don't know how often they're planning to put out these DLCs, but if Sean goes away from the game for months and all of a sudden I convince him to come back, he hops in, and as long as he owns that game, he's got everything he needs to get to where I am. Yeah. He just has to play.
I've got you and BioWare. Got everything I need, John.
Hey, you can be my wingman anytime.
Oh my God.
This is a terrible announcement. Not terrible. I don't want to be a complete hater. But
yeah, what are you doing?
I don't like this one. Henry Cavill as Geralt. That's how you say it, by the way. Geralt.
You got to read it just like this says.
Chris is thrilled with the news that Henry Cavill has been cast as Geralt for the upcoming Netflix series based on The Witcher. Cavill recently advocated for the role when asked about it by IGN, having been a fan of the video game series and the books of the same name. The first season will consist of 8 episodes and will be Cavill's first TV series since The Tudors debuted in 2007.
Yeah, I didn't know he was in The Tudors because I didn't watch The Tudors. I just wanted to say Tudors.
Yeah, he was like his best friend.
Yeah, I mean, you watched it?
Yeah,
of course you did. Did you watch it?
I did.
Of course you did.
We like history.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like history. I don't want to ever be like a complete hater like this is. I won't watch this or whatever. Like I hate when people bash on this, but I'm definitely when I heard the news, I was like, well, we'll have to wait to see how that turns out. That was my thing.
Who can you picture bleaching hair white with bloodshot red eyes?
If I was going to pick someone, like right now,
say Idris Elba.
Please say
perfect.
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
You don't have a problem with
He'd
that?
make it work, dude. He'd make it work.
It's a fictional land. It's not like they're actually in Poland. You can be black. I don't care. But I guess like people I could just like see if that
make him Bond all day long
for sure. I'm trying to think of people. I could definitely see Josh Brolin actually fits the role to me. I could see that if it's not a concern of like age and being able to do fight scenes and all that, I would pick Clint Eastwood in a heartbeat because Clint Eastwood is pretty much what Geralt is. He's the old grizzled, I'm too old for this, it's like, it's basically Unforgiven, right? He's just pissed off at the world.
Henry Cavill seems to have the physicality down.
Yeah, there's no question about that.
He does.
I'm just not a huge fan of him.
He can have Geralt seems to have like these sharp, angular facial features. And you stick a white wig on Henry Cavill and,
Sean Bean would actually work too. He looks very much like the character. If you just dyed him gray.
His nose is not right.
But unfortunately,
one does not simply cast
The
Witcher.
I mean, like, he can't be the part because he's going to die, right?
But you're also... But
Such a small thing.
But you're also, I hope people don't go into this expecting pure adaptation from the video games. I mean, these are the books.
Yeah.
I mean, how is he described in the books? They got to take that into consideration.
It's about
they don't
the
have
same
to do
from my
anything they don't want to do, John.
That's true.
There are going to be people that are going to watch this thinking of the video game.
And when they cast Henry Cavill as Superman, I was like, really?
I'm still really.
I'm not. I think he's a great Superman.
To be fair, Man of Steel is pretty good. I'm not blaming him for Batman v Superman, and I'm not blaming him for the fact that Tom Cruise made him sign a contract not to shave his mustache for the last movie. He's usually fine. It's just, I'll say this: the best thing I've seen him in
was Justice League, of course.
No, was the last movie I saw him in, he was solid in Mission Impossible. I don't think he's a great actor, but he was solid for that role, and he did it well.
I don't think he's a great actor. He's better than you, I'll tell you that much.
Then that's fine. I'm not trying to be an actor.
Well, you're trying to be a podcast person.
You're right. He would suck at podcasting. The greatest podcaster.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. Let us do a test run with Henry Cavill.
He'll be like, I'm British, but
it's like the guys
Superman.
at Netflix are sitting around going, gosh, nobody wants this part. Who do we cast? Then the guys at IGN ask Henry Cavill the question. I could do that. They're like, get him on the phone. Get him on the phone now. Get him on the phone.
Will you do it for $10? He'll do it for $10. Signed.
He wants to wear his cape. Can he wear his cape?
I'm trying to think of like our people. Like,
so funny.
Because Game of Thrones is about to end, right?
What?
And freaking Jamie Lannister. Jamie Lannister could be it. I could see him.
He's got a golden hand, though.
I don't know if you know this. I'm going to shock you.
What? What are you about to tell me, Chris?
It's a special.
Cast Peter Dinklage.
Why are you laughing so hard right now, John?
I saw the greatest picture of
picturing him.
I saw the greatest picture of him today. Like, it was a picture of him from the 80s.
Yeah.
Straight up looked like he was walking out of Tear for Fears, like, band shoot.
Tears for Fears, Chris.
Yeah, Tears for Fears.
Old Tear for Fear.
Like, he had the long hair, the white shirt, button-up shirt with no tie, black jacket.
Google Tears for Fears.
See, John, Tears for Fears is.
Finally this week. That just feels like a 4-second, like, thrust push and then roll over and go to bed.
You're talking about pushing. That was more like grip it and rip it.
But anyways, finally this week. See, that's how you're supposed to do it.
Is it?
Yeah. Didn't you know that PlayStation is the best place to play? The idea of cross-play solution seems to be further away than ever before, as Sony CEO Kenichiro Yoshida stated, on the cross-platform, our way of thinking is always that PlayStation is the best place to play. Fortnite, I believe, partnered with PlayStation 4, is the best experience for users. That's our belief. But actually, we're already open some games as cross-platform with PC and some others. So we decide based on what is the best user experience. That's our way of thinking for cross-platform. AKA, we want our money.
Well,
and
he also added, I think competition is always good. Healthy, fair competition is always good for the industry and growth. I think competition with Nintendo and Xbox is a healthy situation.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, see the bigger picture, right? Am I missing something?
To me, it's like, it's all about this.
What do you got to say, John?
He just wants to. They don't want to come out and say it, and I understand what it is. It's basically they don't want to own up to the fact that they know they have the most consoles out there, and they want as much money as they can possibly make.
Well, you basically just said it there.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're trying to find a way not to say that, but say that, right?
Well, I think they're becoming more confident.
Yeah.
In their position, because I'm telling you, man, this is the biggest issue. And I didn't used to think this. This is the biggest issue that video games media has invented. Nobody cares at this point.
You're right.
Nobody does.
At this point, I kind of see it as
They're like, they've moved on. It was the issue of for 24 hours after E3. Nobody cares.
well, people are always going to play. It's more to me. It's like about the future. It's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not the issue right now. It's the issue of where are you in a couple of years. And as we've seen, for a long time, Nintendo said online is an issue. Online doesn't matter. Online's a stupid thing, and we're going to go over here and we're going to make interesting experiences, and our users will come here. And then all of a sudden they woke up, and it was like 8 years later, right? And here are your two competitors completely versed and have perfected online gaming of what they need to do, and they have this huge leap, and now you're playing catch up. I think that's the problem here. And like I said, I keep saying this. If I am Phil and Reggie or whoever, pick from whoever with Nintendo to do this, you're in a room and you're saying, let's make a pact here. Like, let's just make an agreement that no matter what, we will never stand in the way of third-party people deciding if something is cross-play on our systems. If they want to do it, that's fine by us. Then that's on them, and we'll do everything we can to support them. Because I think that would be a major win. Because you can always do it with PC gamers.
It might be a major moral victory, but it is not going to be the key issue that defines whether PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 falls on its face.
No.
It's going to get the 80 million buyers as long as they keep going the way they did this generation.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be
crossplay is not going to determine the winner of next generation.
Sure. But if they come back and they're like, okay, we're not going to allow crossplay and we're not going to allow this and we're going to keep doing all these things that are about us making as much money as possible, like getting back to that mentality of you can get a second job to get your PlayStation 3 at launch. Remember that classic line? That's the kind of mentality as we saw with Microsoft too. And before that, Nintendo back in the day. It will eventually bite you. Eventually it's capitalism, right? The market, if it sees something that is enticing and is ahead of everyone else, as the PS4 proved with Microsoft very, very much, I will agree, they will eventually adjust. So I just want to see, I don't want to see anyone fail. I want to see them what's best for the user. I'll always fight for this. I think there's no stupid there's no reason other than just personal gluttony in a way. I would say corporate-wide greed to say that you have to create two different Fortnite accounts for things you purchase. If you want to at least say you have to play with PlayStation 4 users, maybe I could see that. But the whole entire idea that I need to only buy things on your brand when this is something that carries over to everything to mobile and such. And
are you making the case over again? I mean, I know the case.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think they shouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. I'm just telling you that people don't care. We like to pretend they care in this nice little utopia video game online, but they don't care.
Maybe.
Because the PlayStation 4 guy doesn't go, oh man, I'm leaving. They go, well, I've already got 80 million people to play with online. That's how they think.
What if they don't care in the sense of like we covered it last week with Elder Scrolls, right?
I think they moved on. I think people in this business.
Well, P. Hines has already said basically that he may pull what was it, Elder Scrolls Blades, or right? We talked about that last week. Basically, that's potentially on the table if they don't allow crossplay.
He's not going to do jack. Put money on it.
All right. I mean, I don't know.
He's not going to.
Usually,
do it.
P. Hines says something.
Yeah, that was.
Can you show me a pivot table that demonstrates that? No, he's. I mean,
Chris can get one. You remember that one time he threw some stuff together?
The statement. If you go back and look at the statement, he said something definitive, and then he walked it back.
He did walk it back a little bit. Yeah,
in the same interview. I mean, they're not going to.
He doesn't want to. No, he doesn't want to ever put himself into a cage. But I definitely think he's kind of saying like, "Look, I'm going to fight for this."
Hey,
and that's been Bethesda. Though Bethesda is like, we are going to do what we feel like we want to do, and we don't really care.
But one thing they're not going to do, they're not going to pull away from PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to.
Probably not going to try to. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see.
If he does, I'll stand up and clap for him because he's.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Because he's tough as nails.
I think what
but
it is
until then,
he'll just. Nothing. It's more of like you'll see kind of like how you saw with Gabe Newell back in the day before he.
Who the f- is Gabe Newell?
He runs Valve.
Okay.
He used to hate.
You gotta tighten up. I don't know who these people are like you do, Chris.
He hated PlayStation for the longest time. He would not go on stage until they finally relented and they worked out a relationship. And that's what I think is the advantage. Like, for instance, where did Todd Howard appear this year to show Fallout? Didn't appear on Sony stage. Even though his conference was literally 4 hours later, he appeared on an Xbox stage talking how much he loves to partner with Xbox and brought Fallout 3 to, backwards compatibility.
Oh my God.
That's the kind of thing. Anyways.
Really, Chris?
You want to wrap this up, Sean?
Just to be safe.
Boo. Never.
There you go. Got him back just like that.
Electronic mail.
Future.
Jimmy John.
So much ball droppage. And I don't mean like a 13-year-old. Because your balls drop.
Stop.
What? Whoa.
We have
Late bloomer, you.
four emails.
Let's do it.
And they wrote those emails into weeklygameschat@gmail.com.
Yes, they did.
Just like you can if you want to hear your thoughts and opinions. Clay wrote in first. You know why I know Clay? Because every single freaking week, Clay writes or likes whenever I put the image up on the Facebook page, and usually he'll tell me if he's excited for the episode. But he says, "Wow!" Yeah, that was the title of the email.
I was like, what?
And he says, "Hey there, fellas. Clay here."
Hey, Clay, how you doing, sir?
He wants us to know what a damn mess of an episode last week.
Really?
Don't know what you're talking about.
No, not last week, the drunk one.
Yeah, the drunk one. It was so funny and glad you guys still went on, even though the mess of a drunk host. I don't know what you're talking about. You got a beer? Great episode regardless. Have a couple of questions for you. What do you guys think of the rumors of Xbox All Access?
I think they're true.
Yes. I hope it's what it sounds like. It would be a great way to get an X. Random question here, though. I know you all are Marvel movie fans.
Are we?
I am well behind the ball in the MCU movies and want to know what movies are needed to be watched to get the full experience for Infinity War. Game on, fellas, and have a good rest of your week.
Game on to you, sir.
Is Thor Dark World 2. Second is Iron Man 2.
No, he's not saying in order. He wants to know which ones to get
like
to.
IGN did an article like this to help you get.
Are we
if
deferring
you
him to there?
I definitely think the most essential ones are probably Captain America: Civil War, Doctor kind of like the ones from the last year, because it kind of gives you the setup of where everyone is going into it. So Captain America: Civil War, Doctor Strange,
Thor Ragnarok,
Black Panther, and Guardians of the Galaxy
Black
2.
Panther?
Yeah, because that gives you an idea of who it is, and there's
Yeah.
a big part of that movie that takes place there.
Remember, in Civil War, you're introduced to the Black Panther.
But I think of getting you ready for Infinity War by introducing elements of what it's leading to into the movie, and Black Panther doesn't do that. It's a standalone movie. Yeah, it eventually takes place in certain battles, but I don't know if that's necessary for the story. I would say Guardians, for sure.
I'm saying, I guess, like, to me, it's
We're all
just
just
like,
gonna-
it's a setup. To me, that's why I would want it.
We're
You
all
know
just
what?
going to
Screw the
disagree
MCU
slightly.
and just go watch the Justice League, because it's a far better movie than any of that Marvel crap.
All right, Darren.
Man, I do like Justice League.
That's legit.
It's a good movie.
Then, next up, Nintended says, "What's up, guys?"
What's up, Nintended?
I don't know if this is going to make it before you guys record today. Spoiler, it did not. But that's because we recorded early. But I just finished last week's episode. I'm slacking, I know. Smiley. Sweaty face? I'm not sure which one that is.
Why is he just agreeing with you?
Oh, jeez. Why are you so...
Because I'm the VR guy.
Why are you hurting?
I don't know. My bunghole hurts right now.
Right? I just wanted to say I agree with Chris on VR gaming.
And Sean.
I think it's an undersold phenomena like Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance replays, gluten-free, or Scatman John. Even on iPhone, VR is an amazing experience. I think is something that everyone should get to try at least once. Granted, I don't think it will overwhelm the current console gaming era. I agree with you on that. But I am of the opinion that VR can at least establish itself as a legitimate everyday mode of gaming. Fortnite VR, think about that for a minute. Sorry, John. I know we're hanging up on this. Way is not very sportsmanlike hanging up on this.
And this way is not very sportsmanlike.
Yeah, sportsmanlike. That's just my view. Game on. P.S. If y'all ever need another person on Xbox shenanigans, hit me up. Anybody want a peanut? We must have said that at some point.
Look,
I was drunk.
Yeah, Chris was drunk.
I think this letter agrees with Chris by reiterating every point I made. So that's fine.
Your point is it's going to fail.
Oh, hey John, how you doing?
The White Wolf Bucky.
What's up, Bucky?
See, that's the other reason you have to know. You would not know his nickname if you didn't watch Black Panther, because post credits. White Game, or I'm sorry, I don't know. I just mixed up everything. Weekly Game Chat fellows.
Hey.
Good afternoon. I'll keep this brief because I'm stuck in a Soul World, but could the delay of Assassin's Creed also mean that Ubisoft is releasing the next game only on the next-gen consoles in 2020? There is no way if the consoles would be released in 2019, Ubisoft wouldn't want to release them alongside Assassin's Creed. In my opinion, this points to the next-gen consoles being released in 2020. Thoughts, the White Wolf?
I think he's not talking about a delay. He's talking about the next game.
Yeah, he's talking about,
right?
how it's...
Because that gave me a heart attack.
Well, they're not coming out with a game this year.
Yeah, but that's not a delay. That's
They're coming out a game this year. They're not coming out with a game next year.
You know what I meant, Chris. I'm already thinking it's next year and stuff. Come on, dude. You're on my side.
You're dumb. I definitely think there's probably a good chance that, we've already seen, I think it's clear to say, they showed Cyberpunk off this week.
Yeah, they did. And you liked it.
Yeah, I watched only 10 minutes and then moved on. I was like, I've got what I need here.
Yeah.
I will come back to you when it's time.
You know how I know that? Because you said that on Twitter.
Yeah, I did. And I think it's probably clear to say, they are, of course, we already know Bethesda's pretty much in mid. Their next two games are designed for next gen. So it makes sense. I wouldn't be saying it's crazy that Xbox could launch next fall, but even still, take that out of the picture. 2020 for these third party companies is a much safer bet, right?
Yeah, we've already said we think 2020 is definitely.
Yeah, I think it just doesn't make sense. I can't see them going past that. No one's going past that.
Now, we're going to probably hear about them next year at some point.
Yeah, I definitely think
we're not going to get our hands on anything at least until 2020.
Yeah, but that could definitely be a reason, Bucky, why they are delaying, is that they just want to build something for the next generation. John, you got anything?
Nope. John's ready for some sort of place he thinks he's going to.
No, I'm good.
And finally,
greatest email ever.
And finally, no, you're supposed to say you hate it because of what side he's on.
No, I'm on.
You hate this side. I listened to you say you hate this.
This is not true in its entirety, but I'll elaborate.
Ever writes in and simply says, "For the Horde."
Yeah, he does, and that's in direct response. For some reason, I got tagged as an alliance only guy.
Look, I literally got on the other night with, Josh and I were talking, and you got on, and the first thing you talked about was how you were
the Horde.
Yeah, you were like, I've been branded and tarnished, and
look,
they abused me.
In the new mode, you got the war mode. It's basically world PvP.
Yeah,
and I mostly play as alliance because of the characters I have at certain levels, whatever. In this war mode, it seems like the Horde are complete Richards, D's, mean people. They only come to wreck you for no reason. And that's why at some point we got tired of them and I was saying all the things I said. But great email, sir.
Sean.
Oh my goodness.
People write to us on Twitter at Weekly Games Chat.
Yeah, it's really funny.
What did they write?
You did not ask me if I had anything to say about that email.
How do you feel about the Horde, John?
Nothing.
All right, good deal.
I figured you would.
I may repeat some of these because I don't remember, but I think
John
this one fits. At Mario and Lando.
Like Mario and Lando Calrissian?
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
At Weekly Games Chat, the countdown begins.
Ooh,
this was before we recorded last week. They didn't know we recorded on Sunday without John and all that. So
yeah.
It was on. Is Chris sober? Is Sean's voice back? Apparently my voice went all the way out on that episode.
I gotta get drunk for the Spider-Man podcast.
Is John ready to keep up his impeccable arguments about VR? Tune in. Weekly Game Chatters. Sorry to disappoint you that John wasn't there, Chris wasn't drunk, and we talked about World of Warcraft forever.
Maybe we'll find a time to do a drunk cast again.
We have a guy.
I'll get drunk while I do the music episode.
At C Garcia T13. Okay, he gave us some love twice. I want to say thank you to him. Basically, on our tweet about Josh being here and going over the World of Warcraft stuff.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, he gave us love. Said these guys effing rock. And then also on our Overcooked 2, he put so great, so funny, and let us know that we smashed that one out of the park, and he was dying throughout. Hashtag top notch.
Tap dance.
So thank you so much for that. I got to scroll up through because we are also in at 4P Gaming's love that they give out every Friday about podcasts and things that they love and to check us out. We were also retweeted by Insane Scyther Gaming and Chilled Naga. So that's really, really cool as far as that goes. So that really fills up our timeline. It gives us some exposure to people. So we thank you very, very much for that. Let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anything else before that. I know we got some follows I want to give. Okay, we're good. I'm going to go into our followers. We got a bunch. At the Hive Mind Pod, thank you for the follow. That apparently is a podcast. I'm not sure what they're about, but they seem pretty cool because they followed us. So there you go. At Midsummer 1942, thank you so much. Midsummer is a gamer, a textile artist, and a photographer. Pretty dope. At GAM3K3Y, how would you say that if you were counting the threes as letters? At Game Key? That's how I would say it. Game Key. See, with the threes?
Yeah, that seems good.
Thank you so much for the following you back. At Calusius221. Thank you for the follow.
I have a gift card.
Following you back.
Okay.
At Deku Scrub 7. Thank you for the follow. Following you back. This is so rude, guys. This is the moment they wait for, and John wants to know why Chris has a $45 GameStop card.
You're absolutely right, Sean, and I do apologize.
I apologize for nothing.
At ThaiKK3RR, thank you for the follow. Following you back, and apparently you stream WoW and Fortnite.
Ooh.
7-11 on weekdays and weekends, guys. Go check them out. Give them some love.
Will do.
At ZE Binder, thank you so much for the follow. Following you back. That is a co-founder and president of a certain incorporation.
Ooh.
Inc. Is that what that means?
Yeah, that's what it is. Good job.
Yeah.
Pivot table.
Yeah. And finally, at Master the Gamer P, who
like
has
Master P?
Yeah, there he is right there.
Master P? Right.
He has a YouTube channel. That's pretty cool. He teaches everybody about RPGs. So thank you. Definitely go check them out too if you got the time. If you want to be in our conversation, of course, or give us a follow, and Chris will tell you how to do all that on our Twitter page, along with the other outlets you can reach us. Thank you so much for the love, guys.
You can follow us on Facebook and on Twitter at Weekly Games Chat. As I said before, you can write into us just like all these listeners did by emailing us at weeklygameschat@gmail.com. That's weeklygameschat@gmail.com. Okay, what?
I do have to update our friend at Nat the Gooner, remember? Or Gunner. Okay. He's a big Arsenal fan. Currently, Arsenal is 9th on the table of the English Premier League, and my boys Tottenham are 5th. Just saying. Okay, keep going.
Good job. Anyways, this has been episode 169 of Weekly Games Chat. Someone say it's a big one. You know why?
Because of the 69.
Because next week
is 170.
Well, but next week we kick off the real fall.
Do we?
Spider-Man. You idiot.
Wait, we're gonna talk about that next week.
Yeah, because in the next week we got to talk about Tomb Raider.
I only got 2 weeks to play Tomb Raider. Oh no!
You got this.
But you got to play. You got to play Guacamelee 2 first,
and I got to play WoW,
and you still got to finish.
Please don't let me talk about Tomb Raider with just him. Please.
Oh God.
Please.
Can I get the Cliff Notes on the unopened package and use it to trade in?
Just watch it on YouTube all week.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Anyway,
I gotta look. All right, where can they find us, Chris, and all that stuff?
I already said that.
No, you didn't. I cut you off.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Twitter, Facebook, Weekly Games Chat, Fives, Love.
Oh, I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Yeah, exactly.
If you like the show, you can subscribe to us on iTunes or whatever podcast service you use, and you will get a new episode every Wednesday, just like this one. And if you really like the show, you should go and rate us on whatever place you get your episodes from. Usually it tends to be a 5-star system. The way we tell it to people is if you love the show, give us 5 stars. And if you hate the show, 4 stars is about the equivalent of a F in the world of ratings. So that's perfectly fine. We'll understand what a 4-star review means. It does help people find the show. So we appreciate every single time you do it. A lot of people have done it on iTunes. Like whenever I look, I'm like, wow, we got a lot of ratings. I'm proud of that. Until next time, I will simply first look to Sean and say, game on, Sean.
Game on, Chris.
Okay. That was intense. Game on, John.
A game on. Everybody.
No, we don't know how to reply to that. You got to say my name then his name or vice versa.
Please don't police my speech.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Game on then, John and everybody else, because you said it too. Richard.
Your mom's box.
Peace out, everybody.
Your mom's box.
That's mine. You're not ending on that. Say your tagline.
Say the thug life thing.
Say it.
Do the bit.
Thug life.
Thank you.